Hello, everybody. So this is our first question for our test review. It's a video I'm doing for the test number one review. So question number one, a rectangular tract of land in Mathville has dimensions of 4x squared plus 3x plus 12 and 4x minus 2. Another rectangular area of the land in Algebra Town has dimensions 5x squared plus x minus 4 and 2x plus 1. So the first question in this case, the first part would be find the area of each using the box method in terms of x. So we're going to create, in this case, a box for each one. So here's my first box. And I know the video sometimes called it area array, but I used to call it box method. And this will be for the Mathville. Dimensions in this case would be, oops, no, sorry, wrong one. So, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. It'd be 4x squared plus 3x plus 12, and which is really important for us when you do the box method to make sure you put in the correct information. Otherwise, that'll be not so good. So now for the second box, for the area we're dealing with, it'll be for Algebra Town. This is algebra. And so here, that'll be 5x squared plus x minus 4 times 2x plus 1. So now let's multiply. And we're going to find, with the box method, you're finding the area of each smaller rectangle, and then afterwards combine them all together to get the sum. So let's begin with the first box, which is 4x times 4x squared, which is 16x squared, x to the third. Then 4x is dimension times 3x here, which gives us 12x squared. And then 4x times 12, which will be, in this case, 48x. Okay, so that's the first part. Now for the bottom row, we'll take negative 2 times 4x squared, which is negative 8x squared. Then we're going to multiply the negative 2 times the 3x to get negative 6x. And finally, we'll multiply negative 2 times 12 to give us the negative 24. Now, I like box method mainly because of the fact that, again, in this case, the like terms are usually but not always diagonal to each other. And so when I combine everything, I have the 16x cubed by itself. Then I have, in this case, 12x squared plus negative 8x squared is going to be plus 4x squared. Then 48x plus negative 6x is plus 42x. Then minus 24. And so this will be the area of the tract of land in Mathville in terms of x. Repeat the process for Algebra Town. 2x times 5x squared is going to be 10x to the third. 2x times x gives me 2x squared. And then 2x times negative 4 will give us a negative 8x. Okay? We're again repeating the process for the bottom row. 1 times 5x squared is just 5x squared. 1 times x is going to be 1x. And 1 times negative 4 will be negative 4. Again, we're going to circle these because they'll tell us what our like terms are. Again, not all the time, but most of the time we'll see in this case that like terms will be diagonal. So we have this 10x cubed. Now we see 2x squared plus 5x squared is plus 7x squared. And then a negative 8x plus 1x gives me negative 7x. And we have negative 4 at the end. So we see that the area for the tract of land in Algebra Town will be, in terms of x, 10x cubed plus 7x squared minus 7x minus 4. Okay, so that's the first part. Okay, the second part is now to find the difference between the areas in Mathville and Algebra Town. we found the areas. So the difference between the area of Mathville and the area of Algertown would just have us take the two areas and track them. So here is our first part of the question. Our second part of the question is important for us. We have to show the setup for this. And how do we set this up? Well, it's going to be subtraction because we take a difference. And in the order we see it, the area of Mathville and the area of Algertown. So we're going to put down the area of Mathville, which is 16x to the third plus 4x squared plus 42x minus 24. And we can subtract everything from the area of Algebra, which is 10x to the third plus 7x squared minus 7x minus 4. It's double check to make sure I copied everything correctly, because that's something you always want to do during your test. Make sure you're putting down the right information. It'd be tragic that you have the procedure down correctly, but then you're going to possibly make an error because you just wrote down the wrong number. Oops, I moved up a little bit, so I got a little space here. Now, in this situation, because we're tracking everything, I'm going to probably use that whole keep, change thing we talked about. We keep the first polynomial the same. We're going to change the subtraction to addition and change all the signs of the second polynomial. Now, you don't have to do this, though. You don't have to if you have no problem subtracting. But a lot of times students do. So we're going to change subtraction to addition and then change the signs of each of the terms of the second polynomial, and then add downwards. So I have 16 plus negative 10 is positive 6x to the third. 4 plus negative 7 is going to be minus 3x squared. 42x plus 7x is plus 49x. And negative 24 plus 4 is going to be minus 20. And this would be the difference of the areas between the two of them. All right. Questions? Well, you can't really ask questions, though, but please leave any questions or comments in the chat in the comment section below. All right. And again, this is helpful for all you guys in my class, and also in case you, or if you're watching this and you're not in my class, be like, you know what, I just want to try a problem like this, and know what, whether or not this might be something that might appear on a reasons question, or maybe one of your test questions. All, yeah, hopefully this will be helpful. Okay. And then finally, the third part. So let's go back to the question section here. Okay, so the question section says, now, what is the difference in the areas if x equals 9? Now, here's the thing, okay? I want us to be very clear about how we're going to be looking at this. And if this is a Regents question, how am I grade this as Regents? Well, first off, if I made an error in part 1, but carried it through part 2, meaning subtracted properly, you would get credit for the second question. Right? Maybe not, you might lose points for the first one, but not so much for the second one, right? Because you just subtract properly. And now for number 3. For number 3, what you could do is to find the areas if x equals 9. You could, one method is to plug in 9 into 4x squared plus 3x plus 12, and then plug in 9 to 4x minus 2, all right? And then multiply to find the area of Mathville. Then you plug in 9 for in Algertown, the dimension of 5x squared plus 5x squared plus x minus 4, and 2x plus 1. Find those numbers and multiply, and then subtract. So that's definitely one way you can do this. Please make sure, if you do that, know that you show what you're plugging in. So for example, for the first dimension, if I did 4 times 9 squared plus 3 times 9 plus 12, so I know what you're doing is plugging in here, and you do all the same for all of them, okay? And then you find the areas and subtract. That's one method. You could, if you want to, say, you know what? I like the answers I got for my first one, so let me just plug in into here, plug in the value x equals 9 into both this area and this area, and subtract. And of course, you have to show all the work. You could do that as well too, and hopefully get the same exact answer. Or, because in this case, we've already done all the work for part 2, we found the difference in terms of x. For the third one, what we can do is we can plug in 9 into this expression because that's the difference in the area. So what will we get? Well, let's see now. We get 6 times 9 to the third minus 3 times 9 squared plus 49 times 9 minus 20. Now I'm going to say in this case that sometimes students ask, do I need to write all that out? Well, if you use a calculator, I want to know what did you put in your calculator. So technically this is part of your work. Okay? But, you know, if you want to work everything out, I'm going to work everything out for you guys. So that's the thing. So here we're going to do 6 and 9 to the third is 729. And 9 squared is going to be 81. So now we have this times 49 times 9 minus 20. Okay. All right. So now the numbers get a little big here. So we want to multiply. We're going to multiply in this case 6 times 729. And you should be getting the value of 4,374 minus 3 times 81. So 3 times 81 is 243. Plus 49 times 9. 441 minus 20. Here we're going to now combine these two. So we'll take 4,374 and subtract 243 and get 4,131. And then now add the 441 because we're going in the order operations. So now we add, in this case, 441, and we get 4,572. And then bring this down, subtract by 20, and we should get, in this case, 4,552 will be the, in square units, of course, the difference in the area between the tract of land in Mathville and Algebra Town. Okay, so I'm going to make this full page so you guys can see everything. Okay, and so here is the entire question worked out. All right, go through this again. All right, if you need to check your work. All right, see if you try it out. You have now a way to look at this, right? Again, if you had done just plugged in 9 to all the original expressions, that's totally okay too, all right? And then found the area and then subtracted. That's totally okay. You should get the same exact value. You should get the same exact value, okay? All right, but you have to show the work for every single situation. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the end of our test number 1 review sheet. All right, question number 1. All right, watch out for the other videos. In this case, if you like this video, if you found it helpful, please give it a like, leave comments of how maybe I could have done this a little better, because I'm always looking to do things better. Leave questions as well too. All right, and subscribe to the channel so you know when new videos are going to be added. Thanks so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you guys for the next question, the next video. Take care and be safe.